Hello, chat. We're running a little bit behind, but we're still getting there early. So we'll be starting in about 30 minutes. Looking forward to everyone who sticks around to watch.
go. I forgot my stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just people getting attuned to their cores, you know? Just normal stuff. Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
It just makes sense.
Oh my god, there is a hair somewhere on my body.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
And I can feel it. I can feel it moving. Get off.
Who the fuck is Braggy in here?
Yeah! Okay, I think I got it off.
Okay, that's good.
Does he actually sleep in the bed now? I thought he used to like just do that thing where he'd like Blair Witch in a corner.
He's just laying here. He's actually not asleep in the morning. He's just laying here.
Oh, understood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that so?
What the fuck?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, Lulu,
Hey,
are you in here invisible again?
The dog is in the walls.
No. I'm in the walls.
Toes.
Oh god. Get out of here.
There's peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Oh god.
I love this RP, man.
Same.
Chaos encoded.
We are unhinged. All the time.
Speak for yourself. I'm very hinged. Thank you very much.
The fountain is not safe.
Shut the fuck up. No, you are not.
I'm gonna unhinge you
Oh.
from reality.
It's literally on my sheet that you can do that whenever you want. What do you mean?
I'm gonna.
Man, how many of us put on our character sheet for loot just with the words, Lulu, fuck us up, fam?
Too many. It's actually a problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. Me and Rosie did that to you too.
To be fair, it doesn't say
It's like
fuck me
literally
up, it just
80% of
says-
you.
It doesn't say fuck me up, it says use me as a plot device.
Same thing.
And you said bet. I don't know, you could make it like nice sometimes. I know that's like something that is really hard for you, but you could do it.
Hey, I give you some nice moments.
Yeah, name 2. I'm kidding.
You shining bright like
I
a
made you
diamond.
2 separate types of tarts.
Okay. As
It
an
was me being
offset
nice.
from existential terror.
Well, see, that's the roleplay. I can't do anything about that.
Oh, boo-womp.
I don't control the roleplay. I mean, that would be crazy.
I'm not even gonna reply to that one. there was like 5 absurdities in that sentence. Anyways,
Can
I'm
Braggy
sure I
stop
came
making the
with-
ground shake above me? It's very annoying.
I came with hinges at some point in time, but like IKEA furniture, they got lost. Oh, shit.
Ah, you're awake without me having to wake you up.
Sometimes it happens.
That is true.
When do you normally get up?
I honestly don't know when I stop functioning. I just sometimes choose to lay down on the bed.
Okay.
Breakfast ready as usual?
Makes time roll by
I
faster.
suppose it makes sense. People don't really usually know when exactly they go to sleep. That just happens.
I think she was getting express permission. Great cook. We invited her over for dinner the other day, and well, I didn't kind of been popping up, and she left a whole bunch of food and like leftovers out for everybody that wanted some.
I should probably take this with me. Today is the day.
What's today?
I test something.
Ah, I see.
See if it works. It hasn't had anything weird happen over the week, which is good. But that probably... But we'll see if it works the way I'm hoping for. If not, well... Judging by what it did while I was hatching it, maybe don't go into the engineering lab this morning. That could be a really bright light.
You know, thank you for the warning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Scout. Morning, Mal. Morning, Ro. Morning, Arlo.
Morning.
Won't be long.
You know, I bet
I mean,
with the last
hopefully
letter
not.
might-
He would miss the
his mom
festival.
might send you 2 letters.
If he talks about it. I don't know if he does.
What do you mean? I bet he
I
does.
don't know if he does.
Okay, what
Yeah,
gives you the
definitely.
idea that he wouldn't?
Have you seen it? Don't say. What do you
What do you
mean?
mean by that?
Like
My goodness, Scout, how hard did you hit that wall?
and big
It
horns.
wasn't the well. I had a
Fur.
procedure
That's so
done. I've been
weird.
walking with a wheelchair all
You don't
week.
have to tell your
Have I just not been paying? I have not been paying attention.
That sounds like a
Kinda.
Yeah.
She
I'm okay though.
Attention.
have big feet?
Grab some things you might like. Do you like tomatoes?
Does Leon talk about people's
They
big
have
feet?
eggs.
Yes.
Would
Have you
not
ever
be
made an
like
omelet?
But they're not like human feet. It makes
Yes.
sense. Look at, I mean, you should see,
Yeah,
his
follow
feet.
me over
He's got,
here.
like,
Who are you?
toes.
We're making food.
Alright.
can tell. What are you making?
Alright.
It can't be
We're making
that
eggs. How do you like yours?
Cause you're silly.
Any kind. All
I'm
kinds.
not feeling, I feel like there's something else going on.
I don't
in
think
here.
we have a
Up,
lot
down,
of-
scrambled, chopped, hard. Omelet.
Scout,
Why would I laugh at you?
I may be, I may be a little slow. Actually, I'm very slow. What was the purple one? The other purple one.
Oh, that's Uriel's mom,
Get my clothes.
I think, or sister, something like that.
Oh, you guys.
Mm.
Yeah, it's his
Huh?
mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's here for the festival and to see him.
Hmm.
She decided she's gonna show us.
I think it's still. Near
Gotcha. Okay.
It's okay. I didn't
I'm
know who she was
sorry.
until the other week, anyway. Either.
Yes.
Fair enough.
It's fine. There's been a lot of people around.
Director of
Yeah, a lot of people that I don't like is around as well.
starts with a D.
Give me a heads up
Yeah,
you see the Ashbourne people in one of the districts so I can avoid them.
They're making eggs.
Oh,
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you like your eggs?
Yeah, I would imagine. Oh, so sorry, Goo.
Morning.
Walter.
Day without some fresh juice. It's the best way to start your day. Really gets you in the mood. Gets you more going than coffee. I promise you that.
Maybe later.
All right, I'll be here.
Very good.
Morning, Paz.
Morning.
Come on, full body. Try recentering my play space. Let's see if that fixes something.
Man, you said like halfway, like he's like a crank.
Morning.
Morning.
How else do you start the damn engine?
True. I'm used to, turning a key or something.
Yeah. And when that doesn't work?
You have on the motor pool guys to handle it.
If they could take care of things, I wouldn't have to be there.
True. If we even had motor pool guys at this rate, half of them are so, half the privates are so, them. Anything combustible, they can't be around.
Yeah, whatever happened to I never saw the one you were warning me about yet.
Oh, arson?
Yeah,
I haven't seen him since.
I was expecting to have to be treating burn wounds and,
He might have gotten hurt in a diving accident. Going for like 10 or something.
Why are you giving me so many issues? Oh, ugh. Okay, my hip tracker is disconnecting and trying to make my hand its hip over and over again. I don't know why. It is completely visible. Just stop trying to take my hand. Just stop trying to take my hand. Just stop trying to take my hand. Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The voices.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Why aren't you working? Why are you
Hi,
acting?
Coffee.
Howdy.
I see you in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why my hand keeps just losing complete tracking.
Shinies? Any shinies?
Maybe. I'm going to clear my space a little bit, see if I can figure this out.
Okay, good luck. Make sure nothing's blocking your receivers.
Okay. Are you going to behave now? No, you've already yeeted that controller to oblivion. And there you go again. Okay. Let's hope repairing these can fix the issue. Nope, doesn't look like it. And give me my hand. Is literally just that hip tracker. Whenever it goes out, it takes my hand with it. This is demoralizing, honestly. Just please. Please. I feel like I have to redo my play space. Like, I feel like that's the only active way that I can fix this. Unless it's done, it's given up on its fucking goal of ruining my day. No, there it goes again.
Of course, I was a scout.
Celestia Donna Marksman.
Oh, the frustration that this gives me.
A little bit heavier than what I'm used to. Combined with outfit, become easy to carry.
What the spell casts on it and execute it without using my arms. It works only once, but it still worked.
Has some of the
Which
plating.
means
Congratulations.
the theory works.
I get
Now
used to
I
it.
need
Won't
to
be
try
as
more
heavy.
things.
A little cumbersome still, though.
I told you, I think you're ahead of all the rest of us.
It's amazing that you understand all this stuff.
Really good
I'm
clothes.
still figuring it out.
What a large gap.
It's like
I might need some help later.
It's kind of like jewel crafting and like that sort of same thing. So it makes
Good
sense.
morning. Your family.
Morning, Hickory. Morning, Dickory.
Good morning,
Oh, yeah.
Walter.
We should take lessons with Donali.
Yeah, I still have time to do those if you want.
No, absolutely.
I would be willing to help.
I'd like to get my weapon ready, so yeah.
We will
absolutely.
likely want to move slightly back.
I'm working on it. Just a little more complicated because the little engineering bits are kind of like
Okay.
delicate with the sniper.
To ensure
Just
a
a
blind.
question. Does this mean you get to have an extra knob?
What?
Does this mean you get to have an extra knob?
You're so right.
Oh, there she
Reward
goes.
for a job well done.
As one does.
Command? More like it just happens, I believe.
Wish I could nap on command.
Right.
I mean,
Why do you want to nap when there's so much to do?
That's correct.
That would be under someone's command.
Well, if you think
Vehicles must
about
be
it, they're able
completed.
to nap during times of waiting.
I mean, you could try sleeping on the transports during the mission.
Those are really
Nah.
Yes, they are. If you can sleep there, you can sleep anywhere.
I'll probably have my head out the window.
That is
I feel like we're
inadvisable.
gonna have windows.
Very
Well, not-
dangerous.
Yeah,
Having windows is kind of dangerous.
He will
on
also
the,
get
except for,
sandblasted.
that too. Well,
Except
not
for
windows that
from-
can close anyway.
If his head is outside of them.
Why are you so far away from everybody?
Get over here. Room for Isaac.
Okay.
Where am I going? Am I going? Oh, careful. She's gone.
Oh.
I tripped again.
She died. We got better.
First step's a doozy.
This is yeah, you move over. There's an awkward little gap there.
There you are.
See what happened after you left?
Just so you know, when you look at Tommy, there's a slap mark across the left side of her face.
Hello?
Oh,
Good morning.
Well, fortunate. We have all four of us here. Good.
Okay.
That's exactly who we needed for teams.
Talk about it later.
Yeah, don't bring attention. Please.
Candidates, eyes front. You will be having your second class today. in regards to creatures you may encounter in Vanderhall. However, before we get to that class, we will be doing team assignments for the squad that you will be on during the mission.
Oh, alright.
Oh shit.
Instructor Braggy, if you could take the
Makes
corner over
sense.
here. When I call your name, you are to fall out of formation and join Instructor Braggy. For Group 1, Candidate Bailey,
Hell yeah.
Candidate Hickory,
Nice.
Candidate Lunali, Candidate Uriel, Candidate Axel, Candidate Milo, Candidate Leon, Candidate Isaac, and Candidate Arlo. That will be your first squad. Hayden, if you could take the corner to my left. When I call your name, you are to join up with Instructor Hayden for Group 2. Candidate Walter. Candidate Talia. Candidate Rue. Big Rue, not Little Rue, to specify. Candidate Scout. Candidate Arthur. Candidate Celestia. Candidate Iku Lila. Candidate Marcus. And Candidate Artemis. That'll be your second squad. Dusk, if you could take the middle
Nothing to worry
portion
about.
between Hayden. For Dusk's group, Candidate Nina, Candidate Asher, Candidate Sevi, Candidate Scarlet, Candidate Salem, Candidate Luca, Candidate Mira, Candidate Dickory, and Candidate Camilla. All join Dusk Group. Which means in my group, I will have Candidate Mal, Candidate Felix, Candidate Evan, Candidate Avery, Candidate Kane, Candidate Theodore, Candidate Opal, Candidate Ione, and last but not least, Candidate Rue in my group. You're all fairly aware of your groups now. You can reform.
Just remember that you're in Nathan's group if you have trouble memorizing.
Yeah.
Each of the instructors who are leading the groups will also have a support instructor on their staff to assist you all. For Group 1 and Braggy's group, that'll be Instructor Clink. For Group 2 and Hayden's group, that'll be Instructor Drea. For Group 3 and Dusk group, that'll be Instructor Soliloquy. And for Group 4, my group, that will be Instructor Reginald. These instructors will supplement the already leading instructors, and they will be your go-to if you cannot find the lead instructor of your group. However, this is still a learning exercise, and so we expect amongst the groups for you to decide who your squad leader is, and for all of you as a collective to once again choose your warden general. Once we have determined those, We ask that you provide those to the teachers no later than our last practical lesson before Vanderhall. Are there any questions? Very good. Raggy, your class.
The second class will be here, going over the remaining Magibeasts that you'll encounter in Vanderhall. Go ahead and form a circle. We'll have the simulacrum set in there.
Yes, sir.
Feel free to get comfortable.
I guess it's just gonna be in the center, so.
Last week's was
How about we bring the circle over here by the actual seats? I'm just saying.
You big baby.
You're grown up.
Probably gonna be in like the center of the square.
I don't understand.
Bring it this way.
Did we do something wrong?
Perhaps this is just to make things go faster then.
Bring the circle this way. Come on.
The people that don't want to get jumped at.
Oh, this is becoming a semi-circle quite quickly, isn't it?
Everyone just started going towards the chairs. We can make
get
it
like shitting in the back over here.
That can be a side of the circle. Good enough. We'll get there.
Close enough.
Push on back.
Like I said, the hardest task will be asked to do the circle.
And you won't need to be able to
Universally true.
Over here.
Isaac, probably should back up.
Bailey, you hate me.
Need to be able to see in here over there.
No point of us sitting up.
Form into an ice pod.
Whoa.
Ice pod?
Oh, okay. We'll look after class.
I've seen that one yet.
What?
No.
Oh boy.
I have not seen this one even in my
There are
service.
multiple.
That's new.
There are multiple types of pods that you have not encountered yet. This is one of two.
Huh.
This pod
He's tweaking.
has reportedly only ever been encountered in northern regions, where the city's
Makes
birds
sense.
are cold. However, from scouting in Vanderhall, we've actually seen them, despite the fact this is not their environment. For these pods, they are completely immune to ice. They are resistant to water, and they are weak to fire. Additionally, they have the ability to let out breath of frost, despite the fact they don't actually have mouths. But it's the best descriptor.
That is much further than I would have thought.
That's just as a pod.
Yeah.
It is not instant frostbite. However, it builds up quickly and it restricts your movement. Additionally, it will heavily frost over your arms. The ones with complex mechanical pieces will be more restricted than simple arms.
Oh. Oh, fuck off.
It builds into joints and freezes them over. In terms of behavior, this is one of the few pods that stays at range instead of rushing forward, and will typically associate itself with the acid pods, forming into a combination. From what you know and what you can see about this pod, what are some more of its strengths? Evan.
see that the cold goes around it as well. I imagine hitting it too many times at the top instead of just killing it at the bottom would lead to your arms being frosted if it's a close range. Swords, spears, stuff like that can freeze over, especially if they have mechanical parts, then they'll get pretty messed up.
Correct. It will begin to frost over everything in contact with it. However, it is not nearly as significant as its actual breath.
Not knowing I'm
Ikulila.
Dangerous. Has frost armor?
Not significantly. It is not especially more durable
That is much larger
than any other sort of pod. It is especially not as armored as a white pod. Kane.
More of a question about its general capability. Looks like it would react poorly to fire, but could be below 0, so perhaps burning it won't work. Is that true?
That more goes into its weaknesses. But yes, burning it does work. It is weak to fire and reacts poorly to it. Dickory.
An answer and a question, if that is appropriate. If it is paired with an acid pod, it can disguise acid pools. A thin layer of ice.
That has been witnessed before, yes.
When it dies, does it shatter? The electric ones discharge, and the fire ones explode.
The inside of it is still flesh. It is cold, but it is not frozen. It does not shatter.
Noted.
So much as it dies like a normal pod.
Oh. Good.
Hickory.
If it is like the other pods, it is able to be on roofs, ceilings, walls. If you do not have someone that has a ranged capability, they can attack you with no repercussions.
Yes. Correct. Additionally, they can build up frost alcoves onto walls and stay in them. It's slightly harder to break through. However, technically, well, usually, they are only built up enough to hold them and aren't significant armor. From what you know about this, how would you deal with these pods?
Yeah, I'll feel like
I'll start with Unali.
Before answering a clarification, are they able to immediately breathe frost again after releasing it, or is there a period that they are unable to do so?
There is a period in between. It expends what mana they have, so they need to build it up again. Similar to a frost breath, despite the fact that they do not breathe.
And to that end, once they have attacked with their frost, they are vulnerable. The only defense they have is the frost around their body that slows down attacks ever so slightly. But if they are able to be directed towards something that can withstand the frost, then others are able to move in without repercussion.
Partner's right there. But she ended up in team 1. I'm in team 2.
Typically, one thing that is especially useful for these is shields. Especially just any flat surface without mechanical parts. If it gets access to joints, especially mechanical joints, it will begin to put frost inside them. It'll heavily restrict movement. For arms with multiple combinations or multiple moving parts, it can be difficult to deal with. However, the best way to deal with these pods is like some other pods at range. If you can get it from ever getting close enough, utilizing casters and gunners, you will never have to worry about its actual breath. It's too short-ranged. Talia.
I have an answer and a question. I would imagine as long as you could... You said they're made of flesh on the inside, so... As long as you could break through the ice armor that they appear to have, it should be fairly easy to take care of them, right?
Slight clarification. They do not have ice armor.
Understood.
They have normal pod hide.
All right.
It's incredibly cooled and will begin to frost over any of your arms or any part of you in contact with them. But it's more similar to a fire pod, not a white pod.
Got it. And, my question.
Bring the heat close to it.
How hot does something have to get to counteract the cold?
It is a teaching aid.
Good question.
Not to burn it.
If I had my gun right now.
Did you want a comparison? Any normal flame can help. Anything heated in general helps. It builds up frost.
These things are the bane of my
Frost itself
existence.
is not magically durable. It reacts like normal frost.
It will be.
And ice in the joints.
That's perfect.
You may find yourself more resistant to them as your joints naturally heat up.
That was the main thing my question was about. Thank you.
As long as several aren't hitting you with frost breath at once, that will most likely overwhelm you.
Got it.
Isaac. Then Mira.
When it came to Vanderhall, how often were these seen? Were they seen in groups like this, or were they more single off? I know it's not their normal climate, but are there cooler regions in Vanderhall that we should expect a higher population?
Generally, if you enter an area with colder and dropping temperatures, you can expect more of them. However, typical pod numbers intermixed with all the other types. They were not especially alone. Pods are not intelligent enough to form formations. However, they do so instinctively through collecting multiple different types together. They don't
A second question then.
Intelligently, but they all attack generally around the same time and form combinations unknowingly.
My second question, since I just thought of it, these frost alcoves that you mentioned, are they usually kind of all in one spot with all the other frost pods? Or are they just kind of scattered about on the walls too? If they all kind of meet in one spot, then a firecaster would be ideal then, just detonate the whole pod collective.
I have seen both.
Okay.
They are both collected together in large groups and where they are spread out over an entire hallway.
Got it. No more questions.
You had a question, Mira.
Yes, roughly how quickly can someone develop a frostbite if they come into contact with them?
It typically builds exponentially. However, I would say frostbite can be induced in a normal warden 45 seconds to a minute. It would take
You have time
multiple
then, thank you.
rays of frost to actually cause any actual frostbite. However, you will most likely find yourself shaken the first time you are actually hit with it. You will feel like you're being frozen from head to toe.
Fuck out of here, I'll kick you. I'm not afraid. You know your hologram. Finally! Do it. Hit it. Yeah, burn that sucker. Yeah, that's what I thought, bitch.
That is a teaching aid. That is not an actual Magibeast. In case I did not make that clear, these are not Magibeasts. These are not tamed Magibeasts.
Fight with your lighter.
These are simulacrums.
No such thing.
Doesn't change the fact I want to kick him, sir.
Your enthusiasm is noted.
You got two more questions, sir, behind you.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Felix and Theo.
You're getting so close to it.
Felix.
And Scarlet.
Three, actually.
What is the
Oh, I
max
didn't see it.
speed of these pods?
It's
Are they as bouncy as the rest of them?
Similar. There's no real difference.
Shit, okay. So don't smack them around willy-nilly then.
However, they will not rush you as other pods will.
making a stat.
They will get close enough in order to hit you with the breath, but they will stay outside as the other pods continue to rush you. If you are paying attention, it will be very easy to tell when one is getting in position to hit you. Scarlet.
An observation that I noticed, this could be a great big environment hazard when it comes to them being in large groups. They could possibly raise the floors, and if we're not careful, we could easily slip.
Yes. If their breath is faced upwards, you won't have to deal with black ice. However, in areas where they have been there for a while, or whenever their breath actually hits the floor, it will form black ice. Your footing will be impacted. Did you have a question, Theodore?
Same question as Felix. So.
Are there any more questions? If not, turn into a water pod.
Figures.
Water pods have never been encountered before now. There are no observations of them. There are no records of them.
Oh.
Until Vanderhall.
Huh.
Oh.
A new species then.
They feel nice. What are we getting ourselves into?
Makes sense.
This is normal.
They are immune to water. They are resistant to fire. And they are weak to lightning.
Lightning.
Huh.
On you, Zappy.
That makes sense.
I would have thought the opposite.
Hmm.
Thought they'd be more conductive.
One of you demonstrate the water bolt.
The what?
Oh, good lord.
Oh.
They have demonstrated the ability to launch a long-range, piercing projectile that can easily pierce a warden's body and has only been stopped by armor.
Oh. That's a gunner's job right there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is one of the most dangerous pods I have ever observed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Definitely.
Indeed.
Come on up, Milo. Move up one. Move up one.
Additionally,
Definitely sounds like a job for me or on our team.
You hate us.
they also intuitively understand their abilities, and they will also stay at ranged, at a farther range
Oh,
than the
true,
ice
your
pods.
water.
Don't worry.
Just
Funny.
casting a doubt to our abilities.
Tiny little pod versions
From
of
what
what
you
I
can
do.
see and what you know, what are additional strengths?
Why did you give them the idea?
Cut that out. Walter.
If they're staying at a further range, it shows that they're slightly more intelligent than the other pods.
Slightly. One thing that has been noted with Magibeasts. They do not exactly have intelligence so much as they have an intuitive understanding of their own abilities. Despite the fact that understanding they need to stay at range would require a higher level of intelligence, they don't show any other signs of this intelligence otherwise. Hickory.
Like with the ice pod, it is possible to have them be anywhere around us, above, below, in an alcove, wherever they're able to find a clear shot on us.
Curious.
Yes. They will. That has been a staple of all pod behavior. And most likely as other pods are additionally discovered,
See the
they will continue to remain the same. Felix.
Reminds me of what were those things
Do
called?
you know
The
how
big,
often they can fire their
dangling
bolts of
ones
water?
that we saw yesterday.
Similar periods to the lightning pods discharging.
Ones
or
with the
ice one's
ribbons?
breath.
Yes.
It can vary pod per pod. Typically, you have at least 30 seconds.
Reminds me of the speckling on them.
From that, I guess one of its strengths would be that it's able to get one good clean hit in before you can react to it.
Yes. Additionally, similar to how lightning pods can get extra charged from being around easy sources of lightning or electricity, it can be theorized that their abilities will be enhanced if they find water, or if they're around water. It makes it easier for them, and they'll most likely be able to fire faster. Dickory.
If there are lightning pods near you, they don't have to hit you to threaten you. If they coat the ground and sync with a discharge, an entire group could be damaged.
Oh,
Yes.
Great, they can combo.
Luckily, the amount of water that they actually use for their bolt is not enough to leave significant patches of water on the floor. It has far more piercing power than mass.
If there's ice on the ground,
It is still moving very quickly and with a lot of force. However, if you are coated with water, you will need to be more careful if there are lightning pods nearby. However, that will also be rare. Remember, these pods are weak to lightning. Other pods may kill them by accident. If you're lucky. Mal.
I guess a question and an observation after that. How have they fared when they've seen fire? Do they immediately shoot to put it out?
Sometimes. Other times, they just ignore it. Typically, it depends on whatever has their attention on the time.
Then it might be possible that if they're ever around other ice pods, they might try to put out our fires to protect them, since they have this innate instinct, like you said.
I really don't like you.
If you are present enough for them to notice you, they will most likely prioritize you. They do not have enough intelligence to work that kind of formation or strategy. Most likely what you will have to worry about is bolts of water coming through the flames where you can't see, where they may just be firing blindly. Celestia.
Can they shoot through clouds of poison? And like poison us that way?
Yes.
Oh. My job to shoot
Typically
them
to
then.
actually stop their bolt, yes. But that goes into weaknesses and strategy. Their bolt will continue through all clouds. Going through a patch of flames may diminish its power, but it will not put it out. From what you know, how would you deal with this pod?
Probably
Scout.
The fighter's getting close.
Hit from a distance.
Ideally, yes.
Our team does not have
Implementing that
anyone that's
strategy
like
is the harder part. Theodore.
Tanks forward, shields up, charge him.
Yes. This is yet again another Magibeast, where shields are especially useful. Professor Dusk.
Rushdown tactics. Specialists who can get in the back line and flank, and/or fighters with agility. Close the distance.
So be it.
Yes. Additionally,
My thoughts.
if you can get them to not paying attention to your main force, a single specialist that can get them looking for an enemy near them instead of focusing on people who cannot protect themselves from a long-range piercing bolt can be especially useful. Lunali.
Since their shots are only able to fire in a straight line, utilizing areas that have natural cover or otherwise break their line of sight so they cannot get a proper angle on anybody.
Yes. If they cannot hit you, they are basically a normal pod. If they don't know where you are due to cover or line of sight, you are much safer. Mira.
Gunner should provide suppressive fire. Try to keep their attention if a specialist is not available. Keep them busy.
Yes. If you can keep them from focusing, we'll say, then they cannot fire at you. If they cannot fire at you, they can't put a bolt directly through you. As gunners, when facing these, do not completely zone out the world. You will turn it into a sniper versus sniper battle. And there may be one you don't see that is currently firing a bolt toward you while you are attempting to deal with another one.
I'm telling you, that thing comes up here, I'm kicking it. Simulation.
Turn into a jaw shark.
The best bet for my team would probably be Camilla then.
Huh? Before you turn into that, oh my god.
Interesting. They seemed more
Possibly.
destructible.
I heard that too. What's that? What's a shark?
And I'm more scared that I don't immediately see them.
I feel like the simulation's struggling with this one.
Shark isn't concerning for you?
Yeah, dogs haven't made
You
it.
know,
What's a shark
I hope
Come
it's
on
not
out.
what I think it is.
Some sort of like underwater
Should me
creature.
pucker my lips.
The suspense is terrifying.
Oh, wow.
Shark, thief, predator of sea, apex.
Oh. Okay.
Must be like a big simulation.
Give it a second. The simulacrum is struggling.
From water. Great. More water.
That's fair.
That's not terrifying.
That's comforting.
Didn't we talk with Professor Clink about this
Mhm.
before?
Apex predator.
Something about
Big
I
fish.
thought it was a bird. But he said it was a sea creature.
Yes.
Very fast.
May I
There
ask?
it is.
That is the
What the hell is that?
Please ask your question, Scarlet.
Oh, we got an
I
airborne
was just going to
fucker.
add something on to what we were discussing before those. If the water pods are going to be shooting through any type of frost, it will turn into icicles and be even more deadly.
Yes. Additionally, that will lodge inside of you and shatter.
You know,
This
Okay, that one's
Burrows,
the
huh?
batch of beasties were bad, but this might be the fucking worst one yet.
This is a low C class.
Oh, no.
Low.
Its entire body is armored.
Oh, good.
Oh, fuck.
Terrific.
Hey, you know how you do that thing with your gun where you
Its
stuck it in
jaw
the mouth?
crush force
Okay.
is stronger than the Terra Shriekers. And so far, the only material able to not be crushed has been Magisteel.
Oh, great.
Ah,
Good.
great.
They are resistant to water, and they are weak to lightning. As for behavior,
I could just stick my arms
I feel like I
they
chose the
typically do
wrong.
not burrow. They levitate, and they will rush the first thing they see.
Okay.
When I'm fighting, it's a lot less.
From what you can see and what you know, what are its strengths? Isaac.
Definitely at speed, which means it can rush down a squad very quickly. If they're not prepared for it, someone's losing a limb, if not their life. Then they're probably out of there as quick as they came.
Yes. Typically, they will rush, latch onto their jaws, and drag you with it as it attempts to completely bite through you, taking you out of your formation. Evan.
The head additionally looks completely armored, so trying to dissuade it at all using any type of weapon. I don't even know if ranged would work directly on the head. Most of it seems like it would either bounce off or not really work in redirecting it, depending on its speed.
Yes, unless you have significant mass to your arms, redirecting it during a rush is difficult. Lunali.
Based off the movements it did earlier, it also can serve as an ambush predator, as it can perform dives and hide somewhere out of sight even below the surface.
Yes. Almost as if in an aquatic environment, they can float behind anything or in any alcove. Typically, just waiting. Sometimes some of them are more active and will just simply roam, looking for something to eat.
People in the bleachers are cooked. Look at them. Tiny one's been back there the whole time.
Marcus.
Completely surrounded.
I know you said this thing was armored, but just to get it out of the way, the underside seems different in what it's made out of. Is that also armored, or does it have pod rules?
It is also armored. However, it is less armored than its harder outer shell.
Good. And do you think high impact forms of elements will be good enough to smash through the armor, like earth potentially?
High impact is a good way to deal with this, yes. However, the best element is lightning.
Yeah, it's lightning, I know.
Great.
Get shit on.
Degree.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck you too, whore.
With the horn-like protrusions on its jaw, even if you dodge the jaws, it can knock you over.
Okay, no, too close, too close, too
Yes.
close.
Sensory
organs
no.
no.
Quiet.
It's got a lot of little holes.
Typically, its behavior is that it will rush through. If it fails, it will continue, gain distance, reorient, and rush again, so that it can build up speed. That is the limit of its intelligence. However, it will just simply rush directly into your formation with significant force. Scarlet.
If you were to be grabbed by one of these things, would going for the eyes be your best bet?
The eyes and the jaw are also weak points. The inside of its mouth is not armored.
That's good.
Got that at least.
It just means a narrow opening.
Weaknesses?
Well, at least I know what I'm aiming for.
Are we on to talking about weaknesses or no?
Movement gains speed. Ice slow down. Make useless.
Somewhat. It is not actually flying so much as it is just levitating. It cannot be able to move and still be able to move in the air. There are 3 weak points. Freeze. The eyes, the inside of the mouth, and the flesh exposed here.
On the neck, aye.
Oh, great.
However,
Can you show the
in
third
order to
weak point over
access
here?
any of these points,
I couldn't see it from here.
move over to Isaac.
Oh, I see. Right behind the head. Got it.
Does the underside work too?
The underside is
that
not
if it's also
as
armored?
exposed.
Already asked that, Theo. Listen up.
Bailey, do you think you could clamp its mouth shut?
Maybe.
Or pull it open so
Yeah,
I
there's
can
that,
fucking
though. I
put
see
my
it.
gun in its mouth.
That's what I was thinking.
Or that.
Keeping its jaw
team composition.
clamped. Keeping its jaw clamped is much, much easier than prying it open. However, both are possible.
We throw something explosive in its
Additionally,
mouth and just hold it shut.
do not expect cover to keep it from being able to get you. It can burst through walls or simply eat through them.
Naturally.
Okay. How fun.
Alright then.
You have to deal with it when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the expected turning speed of these? Can they turn on a credit, or is it once they're going forward, that's sort of where they're going?
They typically rush forward, and they'll gain distance before attempting to turn around.
So luring them into a wall, for instance, stun them for a moment, if they can't turn it effectively.
If you can get them to impact the wall, it may stun them for a single moment.
Might be
However,
their best bet then.
their eyesight is not especially bad, and they may just end their rush early and turn. Scarlet and Scout.
I noticed that their scales are in folds. Is it possible to get armory beneath the folds?
While theoretically possible, it's incredibly difficult and it's never been done.
Sorry.
Axel.
For lightning users, since that's their weakness, how quickly does it stun them if they are struck with lightning?
Not quickly. For the vast majority of casters, even experienced casters, it usually requires multiple casts. Attempting to kill them in one blow is very difficult. Mira.
I noticed they seem to have a set of nostrils. Do they have a advanced sense of smell? One that we could abuse?
Possible. As far as I know, it's never been tried.
Might be worth a
They
shot.
typically use that as a sensing organ. For expulsions of mana.
Quiet.
Along with blood. Scout.
So I know you said they're very well armored. Would rounds from like
told
say,
him.
a sniper or
You're rude.
the piercing impact of a pick or a drill possibly get through?
In terms of arms, armored piercing is the best way to deal with them, ignoring all other magics.
Lightning armor piercing.
Serrated jaws.
It is somewhat blended together, but we will go ahead and move to the next section. How would you respond to this as a squad?
Look behind you, Braggy.
Felix.
Question first. You said they have immense bite strength. What about the opposite? Is it
Said that earlier.
I did state that earlier. It is much easier to keep their jaw closed than to stop
see.
it from closing.
I suppose if you have one of your tanks to be able to grab it out of the air, keep it closed?
Yes, if you can. The vast majority of them, unless you weigh a significant amount, will just drag you with it as you are clenching its jaw closed. Agree.
One tactic to use would to be particularly mindful. Have those, at least one member, constantly clocking if one is in the area and calling out if it is about to charge, at which point the group should part, but come back together as soon as it passes, in case there are other enemies about to capitalize on it.
Yes, the vast majority of the wardens that died to a jaw shark did not know it was there or on the battlefield at all. But that strategy would work. The name was specifically chosen so that you knew what you were dealing with and where to focus. Its weakness and its strongest implement. Now that we are in C classes, strategies for dealing with Magibeast now require multiple classes working together in combinations. The typical strategy is to combine both a tank and a caster. Something that can accept its hits and the ability to actually damage it. There are exceptions to this, such as if you have lightning in large amounts, or if you have armor piercing. It will make it easier. Turn into a greater Frostfang.
What? Greater?
Did he say greater?
There's
It's
there's
pretty good. Greater?
There's a greater
That makes sense.
It is just behind you, I believe. Or I'm going, yeah.
Welcome back.
You have already faced this.
That was what we found.
Yep.
Okay.
What you have not faced are the lesser variants. Typically, this Magibeast is not actually alone. They have packs of lesser Frostfangs.
Fun.
They're much easier to deal with, but they will come in numbers. You have all already faced this. Tell me its strengths. Mal.
It can cause the area to become a blizzard, making everything cold around it, and giving itself an armor of ice makes it harder to break through.
Yes. There are multiple levels to its ice armor. Apply the first level.
Oh.
Its ice will build up. It can stay at this, or it can go to further levels. Apply the second level of ice armor. apply the third level.
Oh.
Okay.
This is the
Starts to
full
stand up.
Frost Fang.
Waiting for that to happen.
Walter.
If I remember correctly from when we fought them, they are very fast.
Yeah.
They are. Additionally, they are armored. That armor has multiple weaknesses, which I will get into. Axel.
Accompanied with its armor, it also uses it as a weapon, as it just shown there, to increase its range and lethality with its claws, as well as hiding a frost breath.
Yes. It is resistant to ice and water, and it is also additionally weak to fire and lightning.
What was that? Thanks a lot.
Coming up, Celestia.
Fucker.
Felix better not get stomped by this thing.
It has multiple abilities with its ice, as you can see. Additionally, I believe you already have faced this in the keep. Enrage.
Yeah, I remember that.
Its aggression is heightened, and it loses a sense of pain. It will simply keep attacking.
Quite the jump, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the way it
Similar to
dashed.
the bird.
Yep. Yes.
From what you know, tell me its weaknesses. Axel.
If engaged before it starts gaining its layers of ice armor, its capabilities are severely hindered, as it relies on ice to increase its threat.
Yes. It is possible to keep it from going to the later ice stages, if you can build up or break its ice buildup before it has reached another level. Ideally, when facing these, you can keep it from ever reaching its max level. Degree.
The areas directly under the forelegs and the hind legs, where they meet the torso, that has to stay supple for movement. Slashing or piercing
Yes.
can affect its speed, or perhaps its accuracy with the slashes.
Yes. It still requires the ability to move, which means it is also still possible to restrict its movement the underside of its body is much, much less armored. If it gets to its max level, it is easier to access these points. However, it is also far more dangerous to get that close. Additionally, the inside of its mouth and its eyes, along with the insides of its ears, are still weak points. Bailey.
What about the bottoms of its feet and hands? Because, I mean, if it's got to have, like, those icy claws, then, you know, it might need to have, like, little pads to, I don't know, rip onto or something.
The actual hide of its feet and, yes, pads is still thick. It's weaker than the armor on the rest of its body, but it is still significant.
Right.
Felix.
You can actively predict its actions based on what stage it is in and if it's enraged.
Yes. That is the foremost advantage we have as wardens, is the ability to predict our enemies. Which is why the ability to understand how your enemy fights is one of the most important skills that you can obtain, which you can then apply to creating tactics and ways to get all of you out alive. Walter.
As it begins to build up ice armor, it becomes a lot more top heavy, which means you're able to knock it off balance a lot more.
Yes. Yes, it does. Additionally, when you successfully knock it over, lose the ice armor,
That answers my question.
there is a brief moment where it does not know what to do. It will simply flail after it has lost its ice armor. That is a significant weak period and should be capitalized on. You had a question, Uriel.
Was just answered, sir. My question was going to be, can the armor be taken off?
Yes. One of the best strategies for dealing with the Greater Frostfang is to have gunners actively remove its ice as it builds it. It is harder to target than you would think. Marcus.
Guess my work's cut out for me, huh?
Do you think predicting its dashes with a rock wall or rock formations for it to smash into would be a good way to get rid of its ice armor?
It will.
Beautiful.
It does not deal with forward impacts well. One of them ran into me and lost its ice armor.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
The Greater Frostfang is a mid-Class C. If there are no other questions about it, we can get to the last Magibeast.
Good night, buddy.
I'm a dog.
Looks like a puppy.
Braggy, Scarlet has one.
Scarlet.
Judging by its ears, it seems to be picking up quite a bit of sound. Is it very sound sensitive?
It is. It can focus. However, it can also be overwhelmed with significant noise. This can disorient it.
Oh, you're gonna be so good for your team. Just start yelling out like, "Fuck you, bitch! Son of a cock!"
Oh, now we're
Shit like
talking.
that. Yeah, you can win.
If there are no more questions, turn into an undying drake.
Fucking what?
These names are just so good.
I think I remember that one.
I'm sorry.
Why do I
Undying?
feel?
Is that the
I
thing?
feel like we've seen this one.
Oh, no.
Never mind. Never seen
No.
that.
Oh, nope, not seen that one before.
Ew.
This is not.
Boy.
It is not an undying drake. The first word is undying, as in a water spirit.
Undying.
Oh.
Undying. Ah, I see.
Typically, they're mostly just called drakes.
It's like a centipede.
Looks like it's got 4 vaginas.
Unlike the jaw shark, this is not levitating. It is actually flying through the air and can be brought down. It is not armored. However, it is swift and erratic, and it is hard to hit. It is completely immune to water, and it is resistant to dark. Its foremost ability. There is a poison building up along the outer sides of its body that will decay both skin and metal. It decays anything but magisteel that comes in contact with it.
Sheathe the tool when those are present.
Yes.
Its typical behavior is to sideswipe and apply the poison alongside its body directly against you and then drag it across you as it continues to hit others. It won't attack directly, but instead try and actually slide past you and hit as many as it can. Typically, it is more of a guardian magibeast and can be found around nests of pods where it protects them. If you encounter a large group of pods or anything resembling
like
a
that.
nest, stay aware. It may be above you.
Ew, God, look at this thing. Just keeps going.
It can also get larger than this.
What?
Oh.
Of course it can.
You're kidding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
From what you know, I would say 1 to 1/4 extra of its current size.
Holy shit.
Substantial.
Ah. Just only that.
Don't want to face
From
that
what you
thing.
can see and what you know, tell me its additional strengths. Agree.
If it is guarding a nest of pods, that means that there are also pods to deal with. Ones who may evolve during the battle.
Yes, correct. If you are facing one of these, you will also be facing pods, and potentially other D-class. You will very rarely fight one of these purely alone. However, it does completely fight alone. It does not coordinate with any other magibeasts. It is simply around the pods. Agree.
Its length and flexibility means even if you have magisteel gauntlets, to grapple it would be ineffective at best and Sabotage to your own team at worst. It can still thrash.
Yes. Uriel.
If I had to guess, just like the last levitator, without any type of wings, it's kind of hard to take it down. And I'd assume it'd be able to carry you off if you were to latch onto it.
It would also rot your
It
hands.
can. It can. Restricting its movement is difficult. Restricting its movement is difficult. However, it is still possible. Evan.
More of something that I noticed, since they're a little bit more slim, they're probably able to hide in nooks and crannies a bit easier, and things like cave roofs and the such. Especially when they're not glowing, they might be hard to see.
Typically, yes. Some part of them will also typically be visible. They may be roaming or they may be hidden. Both have been observed. From what you know and what you can see, tell me its weaknesses.
I don't even know what to begin with these things.
Agree.
While its height is scaled, its flexibility implies that it is thinner than other magic beasts we have seen today. I posit it could be possible that you can use its charge against it if you have a magisteel blade.
Yes. Yes, you can. It is not especially armored, and it can be pierced. It is possible to lodge a blade into it and drag it along its side. While its blood does not carry the same poison that builds up on the outside of it, you will also additionally collect a large amount of poison from that action. Once complete, I would heavily recommend repositioning. You may be standing in a pool. Dickory again.
A follow-up question. How long does it take for the built-up poison to disperse? As there is a active and inactive form.
It is less that it needs to actually disperse and more that it needs to be treated.
I meant the glowing and non-glowing forms. Should we treat it that the secretions are there all the time, or only when we see bright pink?
The secretions themselves only come out in significant qualities when it is pink. It is still there while it is inactive, but not in any significant quantity.
Okay. That's when you'd want to fight
Finale.
it.
Aside from the poison, it doesn't have any other means of attacking, correct?
It still has a jaw. However, poison is its foremost weapon.
Meaning it can't do anything to you from afar.
No. It does not have any ranged capability.
It is a teaching aid.
Ukulele.
Water dilute wash off poison or make worse?
Water does help dilute it.
Can
However,
reduce corrosive
the best
properties.
material for treating with its poison is, oddly enough, salt.
Oh. Sorry.
Don't forget to go to the kitchen before we go, guys.
Going to say, yeah.
Good to know.
However, that is much less effective than having a light-based healer. The poison is dark mana.
Got it.
Oh, there's where the resistance comes from.
There's
Good thing I got that.
Okay, makes sense now.
It is in fact a magical poison. Mira.
Given the way it attacks, its best means of hitting you is by bringing its face close to you, leaving it open to attack when it does so. It has a lot of sensitive whiskers and fins, along with its eyes.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Fireballs.
It is, even while not armored, it is still durable. Getting in good hits like that will not save you from not being poisoned. It will continue with its sideswipe, even while in pain. Scarlet.
A question and an observation. How well is its eyesight?
I would say its eyesight is not especially good or bad.
If
Equivalent to yours.
Understood. If
However-
I'm observing it correctly, I'm sorry.
No, keep going. I pause when I speak.
If I'm observing it correctly, possibly getting the ability to take off its antennas or its whiskers would help with getting it confused and being unable to move around as freely. Much like how cats are with their whiskers.
It primarily uses its antenna for sensing mana. Once you get to a significant level of Magibeast class, all of them will have some form of sensing mana. This is primarily how they hunt. Sight is secondary to them. Evan.
Longer reach weapons like spears, longswords, bigger arms weapons like Bailey's arms would probably be best for redirecting them or moving them or hurting them without getting hurt yourself. The extra range might be enough, not to kill it, but maybe to move them away. Additionally, closer range gunner weapons like shotguns could also be very, very helpful, since they can't necessarily move out of the way of all of the pellets.
Yes. Additionally, if you are using a larger reach weapon, the best tactic would be to plant it into the ground and brace. It is moving with significant force. If you do that, you can engage in the strategy that Dickory was suggesting, of having it rip itself apart against your blade. You have a question, Isaac?
I do, but you may have answered it indirectly. When they're charging you for wind users, could a concentrated burst of wind redirect it enough to evade an attack, at least for someone else? In this case being Hickory or Uriel's wind, since mine is more directed.
Yes.
Okay.
It is possible. However, it is also controlling its flight path the entire time. It will respond to it and simply go back to its original flight. It is very difficult to knock it off path and keep it off path.
Understood.
It will attempt to recover and simply go for the nearest person. At this level of Magibeast, High Class C and above, it no longer becomes which class is best treated against them. Instead, it goes into two things: specific combinations of classes, and also the combination of elements and classes, or specific types of arms weapons. For this Magibeast, every single class is required. The only type of Warden that has a significant advantage for the entire squad of dealing with this is a light-based healer. They will have a much easier time at counteracting its poisons, which can keep all of the other classes up to deal with the Magibeast.
Noted.
If there are no more questions, this lesson is concluded. You are all dismissed.
Thank you, Bragi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Professor Black.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Professor.
Professor.
Thank you, ugly lizards.
You should write down notes for you. The handwriting stuff.
That one's tricky. No, that's gonna be.
Are we gonna try to meet up to talk
Hand.
team stuff?
I want to know what you really do.
I don't know what I was thinking. No, it's okay.
No pressure.
I'm not very dexterous.
Fellow candidates.
No pressure.
Did you notice that your team is like dark team galore?
He's yelling.
Yeah, I noticed that.
All of you, if you do not
Yes,
mind, moment of your time.
Think of that.
I don't mind.
For one, it's wonderful to see you all again. But
Likewise.
mainly, I'd like to ask and update the candidate roster, especially with the new teams and new team makeups. So, over the course of this week, come see me, and I'll put together the roster again and update the bestiary as well with everything we've learned today.
Nice.
Sound good?
He's such a champion.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Captain.
And on the further notes, squads, decide your captains, probably sooner rather than later. And then we can all decide a warden general after that. Sound good?
I mean, we have to. Sounds good.
Sounds like we already have one.
If you like, I will do it again. I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity, though, you know?
You're not getting a choice, buddy.
You're all so kind.
Kindness.
All right.
That's the point of it.
Is that all clear?
Crystal,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, Captain.
Yes, sir.
General.
Wonderful.
Yes, sure.
Anything Fortis related. Please.
As if we're not gonna pick him. I mean, come on.
If it is alright.
He's got the initiative for it.
Maybe for our team, having either you be a captain or a second. Pretty good at what you do.
Not many people are willing to raise their hand to go in the fray the first time with all the responsibility. I don't blame them.
Yeah, we have 2 eyes.
It's not exactly conducive to
Tame Braggy! To the corner!
Interesting.
Tame Braggy to the corner.
Alright, guess we're going over to the corner. Let's go.
We're grounded.
By chance, do we have any
Really quiet.
previous magic?
By previous magic beast, are you referring to the actual vulture?
I'll see what I can do about fixing that.
From last lesson.
You don't mind some music, do you?
I think I'm gonna head to the dorms early today. Something about me feeling a little off.
I do not believe you have any.
Alright, Walter. Take it easy, Walter.
Yeah. I can check with Vod.
Yeah, take it easy.
I am a dead dog. I'm not sure how much I can help.
Hi, Avery. Yeah, bye.
It's good to see you. We're a team cool person. That's what I'm doing.
Yes. Good to see you too, Opal.
Bye.
Bye.
I know. I'll need some catch-up notes if you don't mind, if you have them.
Note to self, do not eat before session from now on. Ugh, it's really nauseous.
Just an orange slice.
But no, that syrup, the one you put in the drink that people tend to carbonate now.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
And how'd you figure this out so quick?
Talking to General Lazarus himself.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it. We're still gonna get.
Did you tell
to death?
Our lieutenant?
All right, everyone. You all have a great night. I'm sorry I didn't continue on for the rest of the session. I'm just feeling really sick. Just didn't want to miss the course so I could get my section recorded so Mary had something to look at later. So you all have a wonderful night. Great time. And I'll see you all next time.